So, welcome to the webinar entitled Exploring the Innovation of the Social Media Archive at ICPSR, featuring the Meta Content Library API. Again, I am Alison Sweet, and I am excited to talk to you about SOMAR and the Meta Content Library with you. So let's quickly go over the agenda. Please note that the goal of this presentation is to introduce the audience, the SOMAR archive, the resources, and some data that's available. It is possible that a few of you may have seen a lot of the content already. So we'll go over the introduction of the SOMAR archive as well as the team and some data set highlight. And then we'll do the SOMAR infrastructure overview, and that covers the website and the patent process, the virtual data enclave, data application platform, and then we'll cover the level of data access. And then finally, we'll get to the Meta Content Library API to just cover some of the highlights and the useful resources that we have available. And then we'll move on to SOMAR's plans through summer 2024, and then thanking our partners and collaborators. And with that, I'll do a brief introduction of the SOMAR team and cover some highlights of the dataset. In case you do not already know, SOMAR is one of the newer topical archives at the Inter-University Consortium for Political and Social Research. And as our name indicates, we are an archive that hosts social media data. And on this slide, you see 4 people. And that is what we consider a core SOMAR team. So first we have Dr. Libby Hemphill, who is the SOMAR director, and myself, who is the senior data projects manager. And then we also have Murray Colt, who is another senior data projects manager. And finally, Paris Pope is our new research data engineer. And these are all of the people that work together full-time on the SOMAR project to make the work possible for the research community. And we'll now start to highlight a few of the datasets that we have in SOMAR. First up is the 2020 Facebook and Instagram lecture study. This is a large study of the impact of Facebook and Instagram on political attitude and behavior during the 2020 election in the United States. This was a partnership between Meta and academic researchers at around 16 institutions in the United States. So far, they have published 4 papers, and we have the data and replication code behind those 4 papers. This data set collects platform data, survey data, and replication code. And these data are available by application to access them in the virtual data enclave. Next up is the Meta Content Library and Content Library API, which we will talk more about later in the presentation. These data are shared through a different kind of partnership, also with Meta. And this is where ICPSR and SOMAR are ready applications for access to the data as well. ICPSR is providing an unbiased review of the application, which helps to ensure equitable access to the data. The Meta Content Library is a live stream of public Facebook and Instagram posts. And there is a searchable user interface and an API to explore and analyze the data in different formats. The Meta Content Library user interface is available in Meta's platform, while the Meta Content Library API is now accessible in SOMAR's virtual data enclave. And next we have Polytweet. Polytweet is a researcher-submitted dataset that contains tweets from public officials in the United States and India. It is a collection of millions of tweets. It is also available by application to access them in the virtual data enclave. We also have additional researcher-submitted datasets, replication datasets behind publication, and several of these are available for direct download from our website. And now I just want to do a quick note about what types of data that we accept for SOMAR. We accept a broad scope of data from and about social media, and the data do not have to be strictly from social media platforms. Right now, we have a lot of Facebook data and some data from Reddit, and then we also have an example of a data set that is not from a social media platform, which is the data set from the review section on Amazon, and that is a type of social online space. So, if you are considering or talking to someone about sharing data related to people interacting online, it is probably a good fit for SOMAR. And now, here I will talk a little bit about the different components of SOMAR, which are the website, the virtual data enclave, and the data application platform. And our website link address is socialmediaarchives.org. We are still fairly new as we launched our website in January 2023. And we use TIND Research Data Management as our archive platform. On this slide, we have a couple of screenshots to show you what the homepage and the data search page look like. So below our main search box on the left side, we have some collection listed. So you can search by topic, by project, or by social media platform. Our types of data and collection will grow as our deposits continue to grow. We have additional tabs across the top of the website with more information about us. And we also have a page that allows people to submit their data and FAQs with various resources about SOMAR. I also know that we have a list of SOMAR publications and news articles, as well as a few educational resources, such as past presentations that we have given. I want to note that because we are on a separate platform from ICPSR, you will not find SOMAR's dataset through ICPSR's main website and the search mechanism. You will have to go directly to SOMAR's website. However, please know that we are working on this, and we will have datasets cross-listed on ICPSR site soon. And here I will provide a brief overview of the self-deposit process that SOMAR offers. We will start with creating your SOMAR account on the TIND site. And then you will proceed with completing the submission form and uploading your data and documentation. So it's a quick note about the uploading process. So for file under 5 gigabytes or under, you can just upload them directly through the website interface. But for files that are over 5 gigabytes, you will need to contact SOMAR so that way we can help you get the files uploaded. Then when you have submitted the data and documentation, the SOMAR staff will review the data submission to ensure that the metadata are complete and check the data file and documentation for any potential issues or necessary changes. Once the staff have reviewed and confirmed all is good to go, then the data are published. The whole process usually takes about 2 weeks to publication. I would say that pretty true for most cases. And then before we move on, let's take a look at what the data submission form looks like. Once you are on SOMAR TIND site, you will click the Submit item in the top navigation bar to get to that submission form. And right now we just have 5 required fields, and we hope to make it easy for folks to submit their data. The required fields are the deposit agreement, the creator, title, summary, and subject, which we also call subject term. And so you have an image on the slide just to show you what that looks like. So moving on, we're happy to share some of the features of our virtual data enclave. The purpose of the virtual data enclave is for researchers to access and analyze restricted or sensitive data. SOMAR provides data in the enclave environment so researchers can analyze the data with software packages that we provide. But you cannot bring any data into the enclave or take any data out without SOMAR staff assistance. The virtual data enclave offers security protection for restricted and identifiable data. Our virtual data enclave is cloud-based, so it is built on Amazon Web Services, and it is flexible in terms of storage and computing power. We can alter the type of machines that users get based on their data and computational needs. We currently offer Linux machines, and then for analysis software, we provide R, Python, and Stata. The SOMAR's enclave was built with the Advanced Research Computing team at Michigan, which is a group that spins up and maintains the enclave, who also happen to be at the University of Michigan. And now we'll just do an overview of SOMAR's data application platform. SOMAR officially launched the data application platform when we published the first restricted dataset in May 2023. In case you're wondering which restricted dataset that was published on our website back in May, it was the polytweet dataset that was mentioned earlier in the presentation. So what you see here on the left side of the slide is the landing page. And that is usually what people will see when they come to the platform. And then on the right side, the image shows the top section of one of the application forms of a restricted dataset. And this is just so you could get a quick glimpse of what an application form might look like. So more about this resource. SOMAR works with InfoReady, who is a third-party vendor, to launch the online platform so data users can find and apply for SOMAR's restricted or controlled download data. To use the platform, you will need an InfoReady account, which is free and easy to create. Then once you have your account set up, you can start an application for a specific dataset and then save your application to come back later. You can also upload required documentation where needed, such as the signed restricted data use agreement, the IRB or Ethics Review Committee determination, resume, and so forth. And if needed, you may review application guides prepared by staff before beginning an application. We have guides available through the description section so you can review the application ahead of time and better understand what those requirements are. We find that the process is easier for some people when they review the guide prior to starting an application. The SOMAR team benefits from using InfoReady's platform because we can create custom applications and guides based on dataset needs, funding requirement, or restricted data deposit agreement between SOMAR and the data provider. We can also review, return, and edit, and approve submitted applications through this platform, and even further, we can send notifications that are customized for applicants and anyone else listed on the form that need the notification. We plan to initiate annual check-ins and reminders for approved applicants to send annual reports on their publication activity for the past year. And finally, we could track and export application data in the InfoReady database, having that data available to us in the backend it allows us to monitor timeline of each approved data use agreement and expiration date. And I'm gonna pause right here and take a sip of my water and check to make sure that there's no burning questions that need to be addressed now. All right, it looks like we're still in pretty good shape, so that's good news. And I will just go ahead and spend the next few moments to cover the 3 levels of access for SOMA's data. They are the virtual data enclave, controlled download, and public and direct download. The first level of data access that we'll cover here is the virtual data enclave, which we also call the VDE. The SOMAR team identifies this level as restricted and controlled access. So upon the approval of their application, we provide researchers access to restricted data in a secure virtual enclave. The virtual data enclave is a closed environment where researchers can work with and analyze the data. This means researchers cannot copy or paste information from the VDE as we noted earlier in the presentation. Also, any output or result from the use of the data in the virtual data enclave must be approved by SOMAR or ICPSR staff before being removed from the virtual data enclave for publication. So anytime a researcher wants to release the result of their analysis for publication purposes, they will need to work with SOMAR staff to ensure that those outputs pass our steady output need and threshold. So when data are played in the virtual data enclave for secondary analysis, we do so because those data may be identifiable or contain sensitive information. Therefore, the VDE helps SOMAR to provide privacy and security to the survey respondent and social media platform users as appropriate. To use the data in the VDE, SOMAR required a completed full application through our InfoReady application platform. A signed restricted data use agreement that outlines the terms of data use in the VDE. A document providing IRB or Ethics Review Committee determination of approval, exempt, or really anything that indicates applicants can use the data in the enclave. An additional requirement, including resume, evidence of experience with sensitive or confidential data. The virtual data enclave is our most restrictive level of access, and therefore we require more information and documentation from data users than what we do for other levels of access. So finally, on this slide, there is an image of a person and a computer labels data and an arrow between both pointing toward the computer. I thought this was a great visual that showcases us bringing a person into a sort of computer, like an enclave, so that thing could use the data. And here the next and less restrictive level of access, which we named the controlled download. The SOMAR team categorizes this level controlled access and not restricted. And what that means is while the data may not contain identifiable or sensitive data, they may have some restriction on use. So for this access method, the data may be provided directly to researchers for them to download, but we provide access only to those with approved applications to ensure compliance with the terms of use. For researchers to get access to the data that's available through this method, SOMAR required a completed short application through the InfoReady platform, and it does not usually require a signed restricted use data agreement, an IRB determination document, or experience with sensitive or confidential data, but we do require that researchers agree to the ICPSR terms of use. Before we move on to the next slide, I want to point out that the image on here shows a computer-labeled data with the arrow to its right pointing to a person. Again, this visual aid is great. It demonstrates us read the dataset from our archive to the person so that they can securely download the data themselves. And our final level of data access is the public or direct download. So when viewing a dataset page on the SOMAR website, you will see a teal-colored icon with an open padlock next to any items that are available for public or direct download. Items available are indicated by the icon on file that anyone can download without being required to log in. Typically, people can download documentation files or associated publications without having to log in. On the other hand, there are some files and some data pages that require people to log in before they can download them. These files associated with that red color button and a closed padlock are data files with no restriction or sensitive or confidential information. To download the data file, data users will need a TIN account that has their email name and email address, their names, and their password to log in. So data users must agree to ICPSR terms of use also upon downloading the data file. I want to add that SOMAR has a really helpful privacy policy page that provides transparency on practices we use with our data user agreement and information. So, for instance, we use logins to help us obtain user statistics and contact users as needed to provide assistance. And finally, I want to note here that the approach we use with requiring login to download data files and not with documentation or associated publication is the same approach that ICPSR takes on their site. Now, as we have covered all three levels of access for data, I want to quickly go over some example datasets across those three access methods. As you saw earlier in the presentation, a couple of datasets that researchers can access through the Virtual Data Enclave are the US 2020 Facebook, Instagram, and election study, and the polytweet data. As for the controlled download access method, a good example is the state of social connection data. This data entry is a large, multi-phase, representative survey designed to explore people's connection around the world. It is a nationally representative survey in 7 countries, created in partnership between Meta and Gallup, in collaboration with academic advisors. Then, for the public direct download access method, there is the shape of the 40 states toward the pandemic, providing the COVID-19 news consumption in a country. This data entry provides a new high-value COVID-19 tweet data, and these data were collected from March 2020 through November 2020, covering 8 months in the first year of the pandemic. It is important to note that the dataset is comprised of tweet IDs only. And finally, now while we are on the dataset topic, I'd like to take a few moments to talk about the Meta Content Library API and some related highlights and resources. As we have been facilitating access to the Meta Content Library data products in the past few months or so, we're excited to share some of the information here that may be of interest to you and your colleagues. As noted, the Meta Content Library API is now accessible within SOMAR's Virtual Data Enclave. This means that there is near real-time data from meta content library that could be pulled into the secure environment for analysis. One of the great benefits of having the meta content library API access in the enclave is that it allows for collaborative data analysis with the research team. And I want to be sure to note that researchers can use the meta content library user interface on managed platform in conjunction with the meta content library API in Summarize VDE. So both data products can actually be used at the same time for one research project. The meta content library data post from Facebook and Instagram. So in case you didn't know, the data contains Facebook posts from 2004 and Instagram posts from around 2010. These are public posts from Facebook pages, groups, and events, and then from Instagram business and creator accounts, as well as verified personal accounts and personal accounts with over 50,000 followers. Now that we have covered some high-level information about the meta content library, we want to share with you some frequently asked questions that we have received so far and clarify some details. So first, we have received inquiries about what the difference is between the meta content library user interface and the meta content library API. The meta content library user interface is for searching and viewing. It is also a good place to test queries, and it does not have analysis capabilities. The meta content library API is to be used for accessing data pulled from the meta content library through the API proxy, and then analyzing those data in the virtual data enclave. So I hope that helps. The next question that we have received a few times is whether the meta content library is available only for academic researchers. So I am happy to know that the meta content library is available for academic and non-academic researchers. So here I include a part of the eligibility requirement on the slide, and it reads that people applying for access to the data must be affiliated with an academic institution or other non-university organization, institute, or society, which operate as a not-for-profit entity and hold scientific or public interest research as a primary purpose or core activity. Researchers from different disciplinary and professional backgrounds are welcome to apply. So this is a sort of a long way of saying that as long as one is affiliated with a not-for-profit or non-profit entity that has a core activity focused on scientific or public interest research and educational activities, it's probably sufficient enough of a requirement to apply for access to the meta content library. However, if you may still have questions, or if you know someone that's still not sure, we are happy to respond to email inquiries if a discussion is needed for further clarification. And then another question that we have received several times is whether a team of researchers could apply together. So the answer is yes. Lead researchers with collaborators can apply together in one application. We have fields available to provide collaborator information on our application form. I want to note that we do plan to update some language in our web pages, application form, and related documentation to provide clarification about the meta content library user interface and meta content library API users, eligibility criteria, and apply for access to those data products as team. We also plan to put together some frequently asked question documentation for the data product. So in the meantime, we still would welcome further inquiry from our community. All right, so I would like to quickly mention a couple of helpful resources for people who are new to the Meta Content Library. So first, we have our developer documentation provided by Meta. It offers a lot of helpful details such as the scope of available data, what the geographic scope and language scope are, and what the component of Facebook and Instagram posts will be. The image that you may see on the slide shows an example of what the Facebook post may look like in the user interface we show. Meta's resource also provide a link to their frequently asked question. The next resource is the Summer Application Guide. And this item provides a very detailed list of requirements needed to apply for access to the Meta Content Library. We encourage people who are interested in applying for access to the data product to review the guide ahead of time to ensure that they know the information that they need to provide, which usually helps to expedite the application process and hopefully reduces the need to edit the application after the initial submission. So we have some information that we want to share about what's coming soon for the Meta Content Library before we move to the next section of the presentation. I want to share one feature that is coming soon is certain public content posted by public figures and other widely known entities will be available for download through the Meta Content Library user interface. Also, comment will be available as a new data type. And this will start with comments from public forums on Facebook, which will be available for analysis in Somar's virtual data enclave. And finally, something really cool coming soon, we'll have multimedia support. And this will provide researchers with the capability to query and analyze photos and videos posted on Facebook and Instagram. So now that we have finished our overview and some exciting features for the Meta Content Library, we'll move on to talk about Somar's plans through summer 2024. Starting with what we are doing now through summer 2024, Somar is exploring providing a service to vet researchers for access to data outside of Somar's holding. This is an arrangement between Somar and one of the data providers. Somar's role in this case is to review and approve data applications for data that we do not hold in the archive. And we work with the data provider to implement onboarding and engagement on the data provider end. So we will be seeing how the process goes and what we learn in the next year or so. Yet we're also planning to cross-list Somar data entry as we mentioned earlier in the presentation with ICPSR's websites for increased visibility of Somar data and to bridge the gap between NCPSR and Somar's data sources. And further, we'll refine our internal processes and improve them as we continue to grow and develop our archive. So we will work on project organization, documenting and improving workflows, and adding automation or efficiency where possible. And then starting sometime in 2024, the Somar team plans to obtain user feedback on our systems and tools as applicable, such as our website and deposit form, application form, enclave and use and navigation, and the output ready process. So we'll use that user feedback to see where we can improve the experiences and navigation, not only for the users, but also for our team. And now finally, before we finish our presentation and cover any questions that you may have, We want to thank our partners and collaborators who have worked with SOMAR to get to where we are today and where we're going. So we thank Meta for their partnership, fund, and support to build a social media archive. And we thank for their work to help us to develop and launch our website and deposit mechanism. InfoReady actually offers support when we set up and launched our own data applications platform. And of course, Amazon Web Services for their computing support and promotional credit to help offset the cost of computing. Then we have various groups that are across the University of Michigan that we want to thank. So the Michigan Institute for Data Science for their fund to help SOMAR get started. The giving team at the Institute for Social Research for their support in collaboration in developing partnerships with entities outside of the university. Affairs, Research, and Computing for working with us to develop the SOMAR virtual data enclave and determine the user navigation needs. And then we also have several people from the School of Information to thank. So that includes student, professionals, both of which consultant, contributed to development, and share their data with SOMAR. And last but not least, we thank ICPSR and many staff across the center for their contribution and consultation to SOMAR as we continue to build our archive. If you do have more questions or you would like to follow up, feel free to reach out to us. And I guess we are done. So thank you all for your time and for your thoughtful question and contribution and for sticking with me through this whole presentation. I hope you have a really great rest of your day and week. And take care.